From Lalate headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons Lalate.
It's a big afternoon of Afternoons LA, direct from Santa Monica with your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. Breaking news on the negotiations of that recon unfolding right now, and boy, it's a shocker. We have a potential deal happening in the next 24 to 48 hours, and then a potential vote on the recon. But what is the status? I have the latest update in this recording. A new poll says Americans don't know what's in that recon, and in this recording, I'm going to show you how you are a step above everyone else. Then, the price is right, 1.7 to 2 trillion. And why that may seem like the saving grace. Programs in, programs out. Are seniors' money and paid leave suddenly removed today? Yeah, you saw that right. It's a shocker, and it's happening right now. Then we go to student loan debt. More debt could be forgiven across the board. And then your COLA raise. As fifth stimulus heats up right next after fourth stimulus, it's all deliciousness. Then we turn to the 1.5 year anniversary of this channel. That's today. 140 million views in the last year and a half. What have we learned about ourselves, our community, and our family? I'll be looking back over the last year and a half and looking forward as today this channel and you turn a year and a half old. Breaking details as there were massive negotiations among the Democrats on Saturday, negotiations on Sunday, and some of the provisions that we thought were in a blanket fortress of protection under battle. I have all the incredible details in this big recording. You're going to be shocked. I was as well. It's a big afternoon, and it starts right now on Afternoons Lalate. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day and hope the weather is good where you are. $15,000 is about what this recon will pay you out across the board. In this recording, we're going to go over the first, second, and third clusters passed in a subcommittee of the House over the last few days. And the add-ons that have been proposed on top of that, like the $25,000 from Maxine Waters, is it surviving? The $250 billion from Bob Casey, is it surviving? The MSC, is it surviving? I'll go over the latest details of what's happening. But we'll be turning to the breaking details as a deal will be done in the next 24 to 48 hours. But there's two big provision money for seniors and paid leave in jeopardy. What's going on? And a private meeting from the president and Joe Manchin today. So with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. We're going to go first over the three clusters of checks that were passed in that subcommittee several weeks ago. Some of them removed, some of them out. Some of them we have no updates about. We really just don't know. The scope of the reporting you're seeing right now is based upon insiders close to the negotiations, not from press briefings, not from the president's own words. This is inside information about the status of each of these clusters of checks. And they pay you upwards of $15,000. Let's go over the first cluster of checks, and here we go across the board. The first cluster of checks, a lot of them have really survived. It is hazard pay and also $4,000 of elder care. Well, hazard pay would pay you the earned income tax credit, broaden the eligibility, increasing the amount of money for my essential workers. $4,000 of elder care would be that $4,000 a year to care for an elder person, and up to $4,000 for young children. The money for the student loan debt, for the money for the student grants directly to the university, to the student, and also the Pell Grant made tax-free. The money for incentives to repair the home if you're in a low-income community as well. Very deliciousness in this first cluster. That is free money to repair the home. But one of the provisions we absolutely do have an update on in the first cluster is that child tax credit. Originally supposed to be 18 years, which would be $51,000 a child. Then reduced to 10 years, then reduced to 5 years, now coming in at 1 year. $3,600 or $3,000 per child. The tax implications, free money for bikes, cars, and trucks, still reportedly in there. $7,500 for the purchase of price of a new electric vehicle, U.S. it's auto-manufactured, 15% for the purchase of a new electric bike, and a little bit more if it's for business use. That is the first cluster of checks. Now, as we turn to the first add-on, the $25,000 from Maxine Waters, no direct information about this just yet, but we do have information about Maxine Waters' other provision that's coming up in right now. So Maxine Waters is proposing $25,000 for the purchase price of a new first home. Do I think it's staying in there? I don't think it is. It may be watered down or maybe very microscopic, but $25,000 is a big price tag. Maxine Waters had a provision that she was trying to get in there, and that provision was approved by the House Subcommittee 2 weeks ago at $200+ billion. It's for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance. Yes, just like third stimulus, but under fourth stimulus. Third stimulus only paid $47 billion. She's looking for $200 billion. It was out. It was out. It was removed by the end of last week, to the horror of Maxine Waters. She pushed to get it back in there. It came back in there, reportedly $100 billion. Now she's gotten it raised up to $150 billion, which is deliciousness. Because remember, third stimulus, which is now still paying people for rent, utilities, and mortgages, this is on this channel, upwards of $40,000. Now in October, from a February bill, was only $47 billion. She's getting $150 billion, which would mean you could get rent, utilities, and mortgages assistance potentially into December 2022. Incredible. Let's go to the second cluster of checks, and this is where the battleground lies today. Home repairs and paid leave. Let's go over the provisions that were passed initially in the second cluster, and then I'll tell you the fate of them. Well, paid family leave, paid medical leave, childcare programs, household tax credits, money for pre-kindergarten, tuition-free community college, and then money to weatherize your home. So the bill, I think, needs to be weatherized. I think the legislators need to be weatherized. They're coming after each other. And, I always say, keep the moderate Democrats out of the House. So you got to weatherize the House. And wherever possible, keep them out of the Senate. So which of these provisions do we have a big update today about? Paid leave. Paid leave. Oh, boy. This is the Nancy Pelosi provision. You have to stay home because your wife is pregnant. You have to stay home because your son has broke his leg. Paid family leave. Paid medical leave. In jeopardy? It is. It's coming up in just a second. You're going to be shocked. Then the college education, tuition-free community college, definitely not staying in more than 2 years. It's either going to be 0 to 2 years at the moment. The latest update about that coming up in a second. I got to tell you, this is a totally different recording than last night. This is a totally different show than last night because provisions are in flux, which brings us to the second add-on. It comes from Bob Casey. If there's one thing you've learned in the last 24 hours, if the price tag is very expensive, they can't do it at that price tag. $250 billion. The Bob Casey money for home health care. No update directly about it, but we have not seen any provision survive that is $200, $300, $400 billion. 250 is about 1/8 of the recon, about 20% of the recon. It's not going to survive at the price tag. So maybe he can do less years of it. We don't know just yet. We don't know, but that home health care provision is an add-on, which brings us to the third cluster checks. And boy, have you ever watched Game of the Thrones? I have not. Have you ever watched Space Invaders? Then that is the third cluster. Here we go. This literally is a bloodbath. It's just incredible. I'm going to give you an overview of what's going on, but this is where the recording is going to go to the meat and potatoes later in the state of the final 15 minutes of the video. This is a big battleground. Free school meals for all checks. Cheaper prescription medication, checks for farmers, checks for free internet, checks for clean energy, checks for workers like independent contractors, checks for seniors like dental, vision, and hearing care. Okay, so here is the update on all those. First, you have known for over a week, as first broke on this channel exclusively, that the clean energy provision that was the non-starter for Joe Manchin is out, staying out. Good. That's why we have a potential deal that's why we have a deal for the recon. The prescription medication language potentially revised or out. I think it's revised. That's the Kristen Sinema provision she had a problem with. I think that's done. Then the checks for the dental, vision, and hearing. Battle royale. Is it in? Is it out? Is it being butchered? Is it the topic of political gamesmanship? Yes, yes, and yes. It's coming up later in this video. This is where a big battleground is unfolding. And there you go. Finally, the Medicare dropping the eligibility age. Bob Casey wants to drop it from 65 to 60. MSC, which is our third add-on. MSC, you now see sort of the buildup of what's going on. If you thought that Medicare assistance, which is really the meat and potatoes of the recon, is in trouble, then understand everything is fair game for being battled upon. And that's why you need to advocate. MSC, that is that IRS monthly stimulus check. Now understand, the situation is changing by the hour for all these provisions. I was never reporting to you any problem except maybe reducing Medicare assistance down to 3 years. Now I'm reporting that it's potentially out. Yeah, so the situation is very fluid for all the provisions. 2 weeks ago, Chuck Schumer said to the viewers of his channel, his office, Debbie Applegate, and to Donnie's wife, and to another viewer over the last 3 weeks that he's inserting that provision on the Senate side during the vote-a-rama. We have opportunities of where that MSC IRS stimulus check can be added. It can be added on the Senate side, can be added on the House side. Now remember, the recon has a lot of programs in there. And the recon has programs in there you have never heard before. That'll pay you on average about $15,000. But that MSC is an add-on on top of that. Several places they can add it. Before we have a House bill, after we have a House bill, before we have a Senate vote during the vote-a-rama, and while we're having the Senate vote during the vote-a-rama. In fact, Omar talks exactly about the situation in a new comment today. When referring to the Medicare assistance, she says, you know what? You need to ask me because I'm not sitting back and not doing Medicare. If you try to take it out, I'm going to add it back in on the House side during our amendment. That is the same Omar that said the same thing to the viewers of this channel this last week about the monthly stimulus check, added it in there. So that is why it's important to understand that the House members, AOC, Omar, Jalapal, got to stay on top of them for the advocacy. And then the Senate side got to stay on top of them. Chuck Schumer, Bernie, Liz Warren. Liz Warren has not really been part of these final negotiations. The negotiations when you're doing a recon are on the higher ends of the Democratic Party. The president, the vice president, Sinema, Manchin, Nancy, and Chuck, and sporadically Bernie and Jalapal. It's not Liz Warren. It's not Bob Casey. It's not AOC. It's not Omar. But they certainly have an opinion, and they certainly have an opinion about your MSC stimulus checks as well. The two-day vote-a-rama is a critical day. Why? Because it's the last 2 days, the final 2 days of voting. And during the Senate vote-a-rama, that is when the senators receive whatever the House passed. If the House didn't put it in there, the senators can put it in there. Now let's go over that incredible message from the number one chief of staff to the number one senator for that recon, which is very important as we go into the new week. The message is about that MSC, and it's about advocating across the board. Let's read the message together. They have now, in between congressional senatorial offices, received more contacts of advocacy from the Lalate Purple Power than the number of signatures in the American petition. Everyone's amazed by the outpouring of touching stories. They now have a better understanding of how the Americans are trying to make it through the pandemic because of you, Lalate. They have heartbreaking stories, and they have the voice of the people in you, Lalate, across the nation as you have become too loud to be ignored. Very, very kind. Let's read the last sentence on air together. Please continue your encouragement for the continued advocacy as you are the professional voice of the people as you have become. And continue to push until this becomes a law. Very, very kind. What does that mean? You got to advocate. Got to advocate. If you think it's a Saturday and it's a day to sort of just relax and sit back, no. They are pushing by the hour to take provisions out, put provisions in there. Maxine's Water's rental assistance out, back in, reduced, higher. The community college out, in, reduced, higher. Everything is literally a battleground. And those exciting details are coming up in the second half of this video. Boy, is the second half of this video a big one. It is huge. While you may have seen some updates on Saturday, the big updates today on Sunday are huge. A deal is happening, and the president's going to Delaware and inviting Joe Manchin. But is that meeting one for the cameras or one for the substance? All the latest details. Meantime, LA told you so. Americans don't know that the recon exists. And this is big because the recon will have totally new programs. The press secretary tells Americans totally new programs, which you have never heard about, I've never heard about. And we're going to learn as a family how to get them money for each of these programs. But then Price tag 1.7 to 2 trillion. Not a game changer. The game changer are the provisions. Which ones are in and which ones are out. Dental, vision, hearing could be going out, could be reduced, depends on who you asked. And then the money for paid leave could be coming out, could be reduced. What's going on? I have the latest details. Then we'll be turning to student loan debt forgiveness. More debt could be forgiven, and then this stimulus. Your benefits could get another 2 more raises after COLA. Which ones are they? I have the incredible great news. And then as we look back on the first 1.5 year anniversary of this channel with a leaf balloon on set, we enjoy what we've learned as a family, and we learn about what we have seen as a family. I look back over the first 1.5 years of this channel today, and we look forward as to what's coming next for the next 1.5 years of this channel as well. It's a big afternoon, and the show is just getting started. We have huge dramatics in the second half. Join me as I return in 60 seconds, but first, here's the community page. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LA Late Daily for the excitement of the new LA Late live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LA Late at 9 a.m. Home LA Late returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LA Late at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LA Late. And the excitement continues right now, direct from Santa Monica on afternoons LA, as a deal could be happening. The president invites Joe Manchin to Delaware this Sunday. But is it dramatics or substance? I have the latest details. I told you, so Americans don't know that a recon exists, and they cannot even tell you what's in there. This is why you're going to be a step ahead of the game, because these are all new programs. I have the latest details. The price is right, 1.7 to 2 trillion, and while the price may be right, the program details are heating up. This is breaking news, folks. This is happening just today. Senior programs out, paid leave out. What's going on? Are they out? Are they in? I have the latest details. Then we look back at student loan debt forgiveness and look forward as more $10,000 could be forgiven. Then fifth stimulus could get 2 more raises after COLA. It's deliciousness. And then we look over the first 1.5 years of this channel and what we've learned as a family. I have all those details as well. As we go into a second big half of this recording, boy, if there was ever a time in which you use the word fluid, you're going to use it today, because it's a very fluid situation, and even the leaf balloon can't understand it. And this is Lalate. So subscribe. A 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record, and 140 million views in 1.5 year anniversary. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to the channel. Like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Let's turn to where things are unfolding right today. And you know how I don't mince my words, and I'm not going to mince them right now either. What's going on? What's going on is that the president is now looking at a meeting on a Sunday with Joe Manchin, the senator from West Virginia. The meeting with Joe Manchin will be to formulate a deal. What is my opinion in the situation? Well, it's a mixture of opinion and fact, because on Thursday, the president appeared on CNN during a town hall meeting. And when talking about paid leave, the president blamed Joe Manchin for the battleground for paid family leave and also for senior care. Not true. Not true. So what do I think the president's doing today with Joe Manchin? I believe he is negotiating with Joe Manchin, but I think the president is going to be using Joe Manchin as a blame game in the event that a provision from the recon is falling out. What are the details? Here you go. Are you ready? Get your feet down on the table, step away from fine china, and put down all the cutlery, because you are going to be shocked. As of today, big questions. And remember, I'm saying question mark. So do not say it is or isn't, because it's a very fluid situation, meaning we don't know the situation. First, is Medicare assistance out? We don't know. There is reports today that Medicare, which is dental, vision, and hearing care benefits for tens of millions of seniors, has been removed. Then, there were reports that paid family and medical leave for all U.S. workers had been removed. When asked at the White House, the official record on record by a White House spokesperson, Andrew Bates, is this is not true on both counts. So the official statement of the White House is that Medicare assistance and paid family medical leave definitely not out. But here's what's going on. The price tag of the Medicare assistance is $350 billion out of a $2 trillion recon. That means it is nearly about 1/6 of the entire recon. Here are the alternatives reports say that the White House considered: taking out all the dental and just leaving in the vision and hearing. Why? Because the dental is the most expensive. Also be considered is taking the dental and just turning it into an annual $800 voucher and keeping dental, vision, and hearing in there, but only making the dental an $800 voucher. The third alternative is dropping dental and only keeping vision and hearing in there. Another option being considered is doing all of them for 3 years. If you've been with this channel since Thursday, I've told you that the president reportedly told Bernie Sanders, I'm not doing it a lifetime. Bernie Sanders, AOC Omar, is furious about this because the president ran on this platform for president that he would provide these lifetime benefits. And then behind closed doors, Bernie said, I'm doing these for a lifetime. The president said, no, I'm going to do it for 3 years. Maybe I'll do it for vouchers. Now what the president is doing, and yes, you're only hearing from this channel and one other place, is using Joe Manchin's excuse if he can't get it out to you, these programs, for more than 3 years. He's using Joe Manchin's excuse when the president himself will not take ownership that he won't go more than 3 years on these programs. At the moment, dental in, dental out, don't know. Dental just as a voucher of $800 a year, don't know. Of course, $800 a year is junk. That's nothing. Dental, $800 is just nothing. That's like you have to clean your teeth 2 times. It's just nothing. And then vision and hearing in or on a voucher, very, very fluid. Bernie's reaction, just what you expect. Not coming out on my watch. The expansion of Medicare to cover dental, vision, and hearing is one of the most popular and most important provisions of the entire recon. This is what Americans want. Here comes Omar on the record. Obviously, we want dental, vision, and hearing to be covered. My biggest worry is that if we have our set of 5 priorities, and we've always said we will support a package that has these 5 priorities, once you start taking away some of our priorities, the thing gets a little dicey. Meaning, this is the meat and potato of the meat and potato that the progressives won, and now the president's going after that? Paid leave, which is the Nancy Pelosi provision. This is the one where Nancy said 2 days ago, I changed more diapers than anyone in this room. This one is now a battleground for Nancy Pelosi. She said it's not coming out. There are reports that it could come out. Then let's do a comparison so you see the numbers. The House subcommittee passed this 3 weeks ago for paid leave and family leave for all U.S. workers for 12 weeks a year at 200 to be as passed. So Nancy got in there under the House subcommittee provision, 12 weeks, paid family and medical leave. Everyone, doesn't depend on how much money you make. And this is 12 weeks per year. The House bill was at $494 billion. The Senate version, $300 billion. $494 is 1/4 the price of the recon. Now the president has told Pelosi, sorry, darling, do 4 weeks of paid leave at just low-income people per year at $100 billion. And another source says the president has told Pelosi, take it out. Excuse me? Now, you know what I've said about this provision all this weekend is that the provision is very costly, $1,700 a week. If you make $70,000 or more per year. And I said to you, I don't know how Nancy can fix the situation. Obviously, the situation is the president's proposed taking it out. The president's proposed reducing it to 4 weeks. The president's proposed just doing it for low-income people. I think just doing it for low-income people could cause real problems in the workforce. Imagine if you're a supervisor and your wife is pregnant. You don't get paid leave. You can't go home to stay with the wife while the wife is pregnant or giving birth to the child. The person you supervise that makes less money than you because he's assistant manager does get paid leave and can't go home. Does that look like it would do well for the workplace? No, it causes incredible strain in the workplace. That one person right in the tier right next to someone else gets go home and take care of the wife when she's pregnant, and the other person doesn't. Real trouble. Reactions coming in. Don Huckelberg, director of Paid Leave for All. It's inconceivable and unconscionable to me that there's even a risk to paid leave being on the chopping block. The fact that something the administration ran on for the presidency and Congress has championed would not be a priority to me is unbelievable. Here you go. A report says that Joe Manchin is being used as a scapegoat for the paid leave when Manchin has never, ever said any word publicly about paid leave. What am I saying? Same thing as the other provision. The president doesn't think he doesn't want the paid leave in there, or doesn't think he can get the paid leave. He tells Nancy Pelosi, "Don't take the paid leave out." Nancy, pulls out her hair, and then the president turns around and says, "Blame Joe Manchin." Joe Manchin hasn't even talked about paid leave. Do you see a recurring theme here? Blame Joe Manchin if the president doesn't deliver on the provision he ran for president. There you go. That's the first part of the meat and potato. We're just getting started. A deal happening. Yeah, a deal on what issue? LA told you so. The Americans don't know what is in this recon. And what's in the recon and what's not in the recon is going to really be evident in the next few days. Why? The president's press secretary briefed the American people going into the weekend saying that these programs will be brand new programs that'll pay people a lot of money. What's important to understand right here is that you're going to get about $15,000 from these programs of this recon. These are programs you've never seen before. These are programs you've never even known the name of them before. These are programs you've never grown up hearing about, never seen before. These are programs you're going to get a lot of money from. I'm going to show you, when they become law, how to get each sum of money. I'm going to go through each program, each application, each process, each formulation. I'm going to show you how to get this big money. Everyone else, not going to even know there's a recon. 90% of Americans don't even know the recon. 10% that are remaining can't tell you what's in the recon. So can you imagine? 90% of Americans don't know these programs will exist to pay you upwards of $15,000. This is why you're going to be a step ahead of the game, and this is why I appreciate your patronage. Together, we're going to get all these sums of money from these programs, while the rest of Americans, 90% of the people on your block that you live on, won't have ever even heard the recon exist. The price is right, 1.7 to 2 trillion, and now we're seeing that the number of years is really not the issue. It's really not much the issue, because when we were looking at 1.7 to 2 trillion, we were saying maybe 5-year programs, 4-year programs, 3-year programs, not much of an issue. The issue is the price tag of the programs. There are certain programs like paid leave, very, very expensive. You saw that the housing provision, it has nothing to do with the number of years. It's just, here's the amount of money. Maxine Waters championed to get $100 to $150 billion after it was removed entirely following its approval at 230 or 220. So the president's press secretary says these are historic packages that will put in place programs that have never existed in our society before. This is big. And this is why I appreciate your patronage, because just like PUA, which never existed before April 25th, when this channel launched, EIDL grant, which never existed before this channel launched on April 25th. All these programs that did not exist, they're coming out. They may not be 18-year programs. They may be 3-year programs, but they'll pay you a lot of money, and I'll show you how to get these big sums of money. Which programs are in and which ones are out? We've already got into preview of some of the items, and yes, the situation's fluid. The reason why I put the paid leave and also the seniors' money up front is for you to understand the situation is changing by the hour. Number one, you can't rely upon one quote from one person. Bernie says it's in. Insiders at the White House say it's out. The official statement from the White House says it's in. So you need to be ready to advocate for everything across the board. What's going on? Richard Neal, the House Ways and Means chairman from Massachusetts, said on Friday, we've already agreed upon all the policy outcomes. I called it bluff on Saturday. We now know it's absolutely true. It was completely untrue. I said that Richard Neal was not being accurate. It's now completely confirmed it's not accurate, that there is still disagreement on the policy items. Policy means the provisions, the programs, which are in and which are out. He said that they're just going over the revenue part of the side. The revenue part of the side is the easy part of the side. What's at issue? Chris and Sinema's telling the president not going to do corporate taxes raise and not going to do wealth tax raise. If you didn't hear it from the last 2 days, yes, corporate tax will not be raised. Yes, the wealth tax on billionaires, which is not new. It's not anyone that's tuning in. The billionaires' corporate tax rate. Hi, Elon. Oh, you did tune in. Thank you for watching, Elon. The billionaires' tax will not be raised either. What are they doing to pay for this recon? The closing tax loopholes for corporations. Vote date. Steny Hoyer says if we can get all of them done, they'll be by the end of this week. If they're ready. That was the quote. If they're ready. Recon and roads and bridges. Schumer believes and Pelosi believes they are still on path. But I want to read you this very big quote from Stephanie Murray, who is a House member. She's from Florida. She embodies that Omar quote early in this video. She says, no one's asked me what I want. And when you do, I'm going to put it in there. Sound familiar? Yeah. So this is just like Omar, AOC, Jalapal. They're not particularly part of all these higher end negotiations at the moment. So they want to add something on the House side. They can, like a monthly stimulus check, IRS. Senate side, Liz Warren's not part of the negotiations, nor is Bob Casey or Chris Coons. They want to add something in there. They certainly can. And that is why Murphy's comment is critical. I think it would be really wise to engage with me and see what I have to say. While there's significant focus on Senate members, House members have something to say as well. The president on that town hall meeting on Thursday said that Mr. Manchin is opposed to dental, vision, and hearing benefits. And yeah, the president didn't tell Americans, not that anyone was really watching CNN, didn't tell the viewers on CNN that president's opposed to more than 3 years or maybe even opposed to even dental in the recon. Jalapal says the recon will get done. It will get done. What you're seeing me do is go through all these provisions, nitpick one at a time. Yeah, we don't have updates for things like weatherizing your home. We don't have updates for things like $4,000 of elder care. We don't have updates for every provision, and maybe they've been removed, and we just don't know. We have inside information for all these provisions, but they will get done. Jalapal says absolutely. We're going to get both of them done. We're going to get them done. Negotiations not easy, and we're going to get them both to the president's table and get them done. Last week, Chris Coons said that the vibe in our caucus is different. People are more close-eyed, and we're getting to a point where we can move forward, says John Tester. The price is right, yes. 1.7, 1.92 trillion doesn't really matter because the president's being decisive, says Debbie Dingell. That was Debbie Dingell's comment, but there was another comment that said the president's not telling his Democratic caucus what he's saying during some of these negotiations, meaning he's going in to meet with Joe Manchin about dental, vision, and hearing, and what is the president saying to Joe Manchin? Is he saying vouchers? Is he saying 3 years? Is he saying take out dental, leave in vision, hearing? And the Democrats don't know. And that's one thing I want to make very clear, which is totally new today, is that the Democrats may know less about what's going on than you. Sound strange? Not. There are Democrats, House members, not like a Jalapal, but like this person, Debbie Dingell or Patty Murray. They may know less about the status of the provisions than even you, because this is a very, very fluid situation, and you're hearing inside information. They may be finding out the details from the press as much as you are, and the president has not been particularly fluid. He's not briefing everyone in the Democrat caucus. He's only briefing Nancy and Chuck. And sometimes he's not even telling Nancy and Chuck what he's doing with Sinema and Manchin. Then, big cuts. Could big cuts be coming? Ben Cardin said they were, and he was right. Timeline. Could we still get to a vote this coming week? We'll see on Monday and Tuesday really how big it's done. Remember, they've written the recon. It was a House bill that was passed the subcommittee 3 weeks ago. So they're not going to start writing this week. Let's make that clear. What they're doing is they're changing the numbers. So let's say a House subcommittee bill passed $300 billion for rent and homeowners and mortgage assistance. All they're doing is just changing the line that says 300 to 150. They're not rewriting the bill. So that is why they can get this very quickly out the door for a vote if they get the policy provisions agreed to across the board. So what are the other updates of what provisions and where they're going? Let me go over all those details right now. It's a jam-packed recording. I told you it is. A child care tax credit, absolutely not going to be more than 1 year. $3,600 to $3,000 based upon the age of your child, 18 or 17 or younger, and it will run out right before the 22 midterm elections. Price tag is about $107, $108 billion. Actually, I have it right here. It's $109 billion. So that's a price tag you can work with. There were crazy people. I'm not going to say her name again. She wanted to run this 5 years. It would have taken up a quarter of the entire recon. Not happening. Obamacare subsidy staying in there. And then we've seen a lot about dental vision in this recording. Paid leave, we've seen that as well. The clean energy, the Joe Manchin provision, which is electricity performance program, it's out. State and local tax, lifting the cap on state and local tax deduction, which is called SALT, is out. And then a community college is going to be 0 to 2 years, and that is it. Any other provisions that we really have an update about? Let's go over. They're still trying to get some more provisions in there for climate. What do I think Joe Manchin, Joe Biden will be talking about on Sunday? Can I get a few more climate provisions in there here and there? As Representative Amy Barra says, I'd like to see us try to get a little bit more on climate. If Manchin can be moved, let's just go ahead and get this done. So I think that is where that is going. I have to tell you everything. And there's one thing I don't like in what I'm hearing in the last 48 hours is scheduling. Guess who's leaving town next week? The president. Yeah. The president is the guy who's getting this stuff done, for good or bad. Why is he getting things done? Because if you look from the outside in, as you and I have done, the president is the one who's telling his staff, no, you got to just take the thing out. It's ultimately the president's determination. Take out the clean energy. Take it out. Someone in the administration for 7 months was keeping clean energy in there and keeping Joe Manchin out of doing a recon. Then the president said to that staffer, take it out because I need to have Joe Manchin on board. They took it out. Those shots are only called from the president at the highest level. Yeah, he can do this overseas. Yeah, he can do this from Air Force One or Air Force 20 or whatever Air Force he's on. But I would like the president in town to go over each of these provisions. And when we're doing paid leave, and paid leave is potentially coming in or coming out, or dental or vision, I would like him there to say these things. It's the next 4 days. I mean, if there was ever a time not to leave town, it would be now. So let's just hope he cancels his trip. I know he's a president. He has a lot to do, but there you go. And with that, let's go to student loan debt forgiveness. More debt should be forgiven, and the offers on the table the Democrats are taking. The Democrats have been offered $10,000 of student loan debt to be forgiven. It's on top of three other rounds of student loan debt. The Democrats should take it. It would be $10,000 of student loan debt. It would not be the ceiling or the finality. They should just take this and run and negotiate for more next year. This would be $10,000 across the board. The president's offered that, made that offer again this week, and the Democrats should take it. The president previously did great things for student loan debts. First, he forgave student loan debt for people who became disabled after graduation. Done. Then, the president forgave student loan debts for people who went into the nonprofit sector after graduation. Done. Then, really one of the best ones, the president forgave student loan debts for people who worked 10 years after graduation in the public sector. City, county, state, federal government. You're a public school teacher. You can't afford to pay off the student loan debt. You don't make enough money. Sanitation driver, you don't make enough money. This is great that the president did it. But the Democrats, whether it's Liz Warren or Chuck, should take the $10,000 offer. And then let's jump into fifth stimulus because the running time. Fifth stimulus is going to raise your benefits up 2 more times. And we have incredible great news about this as well. Fifth stimulus is coming right behind the COLA raise. Your benefits are going up under COLA 5 to 6% next year. Yes, whatever check you're getting monthly now, you're never going to see that lower amount ever again. You're getting a big new amount that will be raised up a lifetime under COLA 5 to 6% next year. But get ready, because right behind that is this stimulus, which will raise your benefits up 2 more times. And that benefit lift is first free on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, veterans benefits. Your benefits will be lifted up one big time. Then they'll apply a new benchmark next December. And that new benchmark is inflation, which everyone is saying will be about 1 to 3%. I think it's going to be about 2%. It was 2% for the last 3 or 4 years before this year. So that is huge because COLA next year will likely be 0. So first you're going to raise your benefits up in a COLA, then they're going to apply a new benchmark, and then they're going to lift you up an additional time, and then they're going to apply the new benchmark. Then comes a big exciting news as Mitch's helicopter coming over air. There's Mitch's helicopter for our 1.5-year anniversary. Desiree was the viewer. I just remember she used to say, "Is that the helicopter again?" I said, "Yes, Desiree, it's the plane." We actually have a plane in our opening credits because of that plane. This stimulus, Joe Yarmouth, Democrat from Kentucky, House Budget Chair, says that he had met with Pelosi this week to talk about doing fifth stimulus right away. And he wants this done by recon. He wants it to have the Medicare expansion or child care or senior program. And this is huge. What is this quote? Force Republicans to vote against it, like Medicare expansion, dental, or Medicare expansion, or child care or senior care, depending on what we put into the package. I don't see the downside of it in an election year, and I think it's going to be very popular. I think it is as well. This is not a sort of a broad interview. So understand, do not hear that interview and say, oh, they're going to take the provision out of fourth stimulus and put them in the fifth stimulus. No. This is not a broadly carried interview, but I love it. It's basically saying everything we talked about for that SSI and SSDI reform coming in next, later this year or early next year. Incredible, great news. And there we go. As we look over and look forward, boy, what a year and a half it's been. Today, this channel turns a year and a half old. Did I think we were going to get to a year and a half? No. Did I think I was going to get to the first week? No. I didn't think I was going to get past week 1. Many times where I said, I'm done with this after that first 3 days, 2 days. It showed me that you never give up. You never doubt yourself. You let things go on their flow. There's been many times when I've done something and I said, hey, I guess that didn't work. Did something else. Oh, that worked? Why? And not particularly clear why. You got to take chances in life. You got to do things that go with your gut and go with your emotion and work with you. It starts with understanding that if they're out of birthday balloons, go with a leaf balloon. You just have to go with things that feel right. And if the leaf balloon feels right, you go with the leaf balloon. There was no other channel that had more anniversary specials than me. I had a 1-week anniversary special. I had a 1-month anniversary special. I had a month and a year, and I had a month and 2 days anniversary special. I just had an anniversary special for everything. I really enjoyed them. Why? Because I could keep track of the clips. I would have an anniversary special, then I could sort of figure out it again. I remember one anniversary video. It wasn't even a video. It was just sort of like a 10-second clip that had a picture of a waterfall. And I looked back and I said, wow, can you imagine what has happened in just a month? And what's important to remember is that as the Dodgers unfortunately lost last night, you can't always say the way you did it before is the way you're going to do it again. You can't always say, I did it this way, I'm going to do it again. You often have to do things differently. And we've learned that on this channel. People who saw first stimulus and said, well, first stimulus, hence second stimulus, or second stimulus, hence third stimulus, third stimulus, hence fourth stimulus. You've seen even this video where I said to you, you're going to get $15,000 approximately from these programs. They're going to be programs you've never heard before. Totally brand new programs. You don't even know the name. I don't even know the name. How do you apply? Where do you apply? It's going to be a lot of money. And 90% of the people that live on your block will have never even known the recon exists. And the 10% that know the recon exists will never even know about the programs. You're going to be a step ahead of the game because you understand generally what is going into this recon at the moment. And then as soon as it gets formulated, it's going to be a free fancy. And you know exactly what's going to happen is that as soon as one step is going to happen, some people are going to say, oh, that's the final step. It's not the final step. And even as a step is revealed, broadcast media will maybe tell you 4 of the provisions of the recon. And you're not going to know about the other 20 because it's going to be a 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 page bill. There's going to be a lot of money in there. We've always learned that things come in details. things are not easy. Things are not sort of, oh, blink my hand and here it is. Whether it was correcting the routing number of an of a bank account for the EIDL grant application that made the game changer for people to get $15,000, $20,000 on this channel. Yeah, can you imagine the routing number? Or switching from saying you are a you are a sole practitioner versus a small business. Yeah, very different wording. You may think it's sort of not very important wording. It is different wording, and it made a big difference to a lot of people. These things make a lot of big differences to people. There's always someone that jumps into the live, sporadically, not always, sporadically, once in a while. Someone who jumps in the live chat, and the video hasn't even started running, and they already have bam, 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 bam. This is what's happening, that's what's happening. It's that type of person that's going to be left behind in 2022, in 2021. The person who thinks they know everything, the person who thinks they know everything. I don't know everything. I'm looking to figure out whether paid leave is in at the moment. I'm trying to figure out if dental is in or out, or $600 vouchers, or 3 years or 2 years. And the person who seems to think they know everything is going to be left behind, because when you have programs that are really wonderful programs that pay a lot of money, you got to hear how to do them. You got to hear where they are. You got to hear how they are. And you can't sort of default to a I know it all situation, because guess what? What you may have known on Friday is different from what you know on Sunday. In the case of Nancy Pelosi, she doesn't want to know what's going on Sunday, because that might mean her paid leave is out that was in on Friday. The situations are very fluid. And we have learned as a family that you need to move. You need to move and buffer and buffer and move, and apply yourself in a way in which you get things on the come. It was in December 2020. It was in the middle of 2020, which I really think was sort of a hard run in many ways. The reason why I called her the Temple of Doom was because I said, if I say the name Nancy Pelosi on air in September of 2020, it was just going to conjure up a lot of upsetness, a lot of disdain among viewers who are waiting for secondstimulus.com. And I just referred to it as Temple of Doom. And I had to sort of separate her away from the situation. And that is how we then pivoted. How did we pivot? We found rent and utilities and mortgage assistance. It became purple, became a big hit. Viewers getting $250,000 in fall of 2020, because there was no second stimulus. It wasn't happening. LWA was running out. PWA was running out. You needed money, and we found money somewhere else. That is how this country works. If you're new to programs, there have been some wonderful programs over the last 10 years in this country. And the programs don't run very long. Sometimes they run for a year and a half, or for a year, or 5 months, or 6 months, or 8 months, and people get a lot of money. The viewers who got a lot of money from EIDL, congratulations, no longer around. The people who got great money from PUA, congratulations, no longer around. New programs, new administration, new year, new recon, a lot of money. That's why you have to pivot. You can't always rely upon the past body of law, because legislators move on to a new body of law. And doesn't mean the new one is worse or the new one is better. It's just totally new. And if it for you, which it is, that's why it's better. Join me next on Evening to LA. I'll have the latest updates. Boy, you see, it's a big day with a lot of details. Finally, programming note. I know it is the 1.5 year anniversary of this channel. I had thought of many ways how to do the programming of this day. One of the thoughts was to do all the shows in character. Yeah, I was going to do all the shows in the voice of Sirloin. I was going to bring back Blaine 666. I was going to do videos with retrospective with Blaine 666 and Javita Late. I was going to bring back all your favorite characters on a show retrospective videos, but in view of the situation where we literally have massive programs that could determine big sums of money for you over the next 2 years, coming in, coming out right today, I didn't think it would be of good service to you to run humor videos on a situation that's currently fluid. So I will be doing the 1.5 year anniversary in like a 1.5 and a week anniversary. It'll be like later next week or the week after. I'll give you a full warning when it comes. But I knew that the news cycle is so hideously changing by the minute and so big right now. and so big, I mean, on a Sunday, yeah, that I couldn't miss the opportunity to cover this news for you. So expect a big sirloin, Javita Late, Blaine 6'6", loan officer, and tier 2 anniversary special coming to this channel in the next few days, but it won't be today. We'll do it on a time in which things have settled down amongst the negotiations. And with that, join me next on Evenings LA. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Hit that subscribe button right now. 5 o'clock p.m. Evenings LA, big show today. Then join me on at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11:30 tonight. All shows about forced stimulus. The same programs then and the same programs now, just getting modified. Very helpful videos across the board. And then join me tomorrow morning at 3 and 3:30 a.m. with Early Mornings, pre-Early Mornings LA. And then back on at 4 a.m. with Early Mornings LA. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more. And happy birthday to you in this channel.